The idea of the difference between what we're seeing in the domestic markets, particularly when it comes to leisure travel, and what we're seeing in international markets, particularly when it comes to some of that corporate travel.
Yeah, we're seeing it's kind of interesting because it's a tale of two airlines almost. We're seeing increased international travel to leisure destinations. Inbound international travel, we're seeing a pickup in business travel. And for the domestic US market, we're definitely continuing to see strength in leisure markets, but we're not seeing the day trips anymore in business markets that we would have seen pre-pandemic. I think between all the delays that occur when you're flying, you can't necessarily count on being able to go in the morning and come back in the afternoon or the evening anymore because of flight delays and cancellations. So I think those one-day business trips are being replaced by Zoom calls and other calls, and the multi-day trip is coming back.
Well, Helane, name some names there. When you talk about maybe the day trips going away, being replaced by Zoom, who among the big airlines does that hit the hardest?
Yeah, so I think when it depends on the market, of course, right? So think New York to Boston. That's going to hit Delta and American and United out of Newark. New York to Atlanta. That's going to hit Delta, American, JetBlue, and United. San Francisco to LA, or the other way around. That will hit Alaska Air. That will hit United, and that will hit American. Delta has a little bit of service in that area in that market as well. So it depends. And we're also seeing, actually, before I say the other thought I had, we're also seeing Southwest pivot away from a lot of business market service into more leisure destinations.
One thing I'm curious about, Helene, if you can shed some light on, it does appear also, in addition, when we talk about the difference between leisure and business and international and domestic, there also seems to be a little bit of a difference now that we're seeing in terms of economy, coach class, if you will, and some of the more premium cabin classes like business class and first class, to the extent that some of the commentary on the American Airlines call, and I think, if I remember, even from Ed Bastian, this idea of putting more of a focus on the economy passengers, or at least finding a better way to monetize them.
Yeah, I think you're seeing more market segmentation, which you never would have seen, a decade or so ago. Analysts like me have been telling airlines for a really long time now that there is a way to segment the market. When you think about hotel chains, for an example, segmenting from the least expensive to the most expensive and what you get for your money. And I think the airlines have finally figured out that people are willing to pay for a better experience and are willing to buy up to premium economy or even into business class, especially if it's a reasonable cost. I mean, historically, you hadn't really seen what you saw historically was a huge differential between business class and the least expensive economy fare. And that differential has narrowed a lot. And A, and B, a lot of the bigger airlines, the big three especially, were sort of saving some of those seats for their customers so that they can offer upgrades. Well, they figured out that their customers are going to fly anyway, so they might as well make it as paid as possible. And you've seen paid business class and paid premium economy increase pretty significantly in the last year and a half.